I made a new release of my Fisk-AI project. It's a little framework for building local AI that's private, constrained, and purpose-built. The big ticket item here is I've added a RAG system to it. The RAG system is completely self-contained. It's just one binary. That's all you need. No additional documentation, no additional services to run or anything like this. By default, it uses just full text search, which is in many cases good enough. But you can extend that to full vector-based searches for if you run a local embeddings model. And so we can see that for full text search, you're going to be able to search across all the documentation, but you have to search for the exact words that's inside the documentation. If you enable the embeddings and the vector searches, you can also ask it for concepts, and it will find the most relevant documentation for the concepts, even if the words you use is not exactly what's in the documentation. And so I want to show that system in use here. First, we enable knowledge. We tell it where we're going to find our files. Now, this is data from Markdown files. And then optionally, you tell it, I have an embeddings model running. That's about all you need to do. And I have a system prompt here saying, you're an assistant, send me your citations, etc. Fisk-AI RAG index. This will go and update the documentation. Now I've already built this index, so what am I doing? I've already built this index, and so it wouldn't have necessarily have found a new document there. Now I have changed one, and you see it got updated, so it's it's incremental. And what we can see here from the Puppet documentation that I have 195 documents chunked into almost 3,000 chunks, full text search indexed and embeddings indexed. Now what I can do with this, is the usual trick of just asking it questions. And here I'm asking it, we get a question around, how do I structure a model? This is a thing that took us a very long time to figure out within the community, how to really suggest to people the right ways to structure a module. And this is the pattern that I came up with. And we can see here it's answering it well, and it's also citing the exact documentation that's used. And what I found interesting here is because it cites only one document, it means it's a good document. If I have to go and find information across 5 or 6 or 7 different files, it's trouble. Let's say, how do I install the latest package using Puppet? And again, it's searching in the knowledge base. This is all based on my local knowledge, and it's telling me how it works, ensures latest, explains to me a little bit about that, and again, where it got that information from. And this has been pretty good in my experience to answer quite complex questions and quite nuanced stuff. I'm using Haiku here, which is the most basic Anthropic model, but even with Quen running locally, it's doing pretty good. Quen sometimes make a few syntax errors, but generally the information has been great because it's all grounded in the knowledge base. And anyway, so the point here is, I wanted to make a RAG system, or knowledge-based system, and go from 0 to full LLM prompted knowledge base in like a minute with no dependencies, no extra stuff to install. It just works. It only supports text and Markdown. I don't do any of the kind of convert PDFs and all that stuff because of my experience. For the use case where I'm aiming at, it's going to be Markdown, and that's going to be sufficient. So that's available now in the latest release, and keen to hear people's thoughts. Thank you very much.